Hello and welcome. Today, we're not just going to read a poem, we're going to step inside of it. Together, we're going to travel back almost 2,000 years, stand on a mountaintop, and see the world through the eyes of a man whose ambition was as vast as the ocean itself. All right, let's dive right in. Before we even begin to unpack the meaning of a single word, I want us to just listen. Let's experience this poem as pure sound, like a piece of music, the rhythm, the tones, the way the language flows. Let the sound itself paint the very first layer of the picture for us.
东临碣石以观沧海，水河淡淡，山岛耸峙，树木丛生，百草丰茂。秋风萧瑟，洪波涌起，日月之行若出其中，星汉灿烂若出其里。
Okay, so we've heard the music of the poem. Now let's start to walk through the landscape it creates. We're going to go through this line by line and really try to see what the poet saw from that peak on Jieshi Mountain.
东临碣石以观沧海。
So right here, the poet sets the scene for us. And he's not just taking a casual stroll, he has a clear purpose. He's traveled to the east, he's climbed this mountain for one specific reason, to gaze upon the sea. Think about the words he chose: to climb, to gaze. From the very first line, you get the sense of immense scale and deliberate action. He's placing us high above the world, not for a quick look, but for a deep, thoughtful observation of something massive.
水南淡淡，山岛耸峙。
Now, in this line, just listen to the sounds themselves. The word 淡淡 has this soft, shimmering quality, kind of like sunlight dancing on water. But then 耸峙, that feels sharp, solid, vertical. The sound alone helps create the texture of the scene. And what he's doing here is just brilliant. He's painting this incredible contrast. You have the constant rippling motion of the water right up against the solid, permanent, unmoving islands. It's the first big brushstroke of the painting, movement and stillness, right there together in one huge frame.
树木丛生，百草丰茂。
So now the poet's camera, if you will, zooms in. We go from that wide, sweeping view of the sea to the details on the islands themselves. And listen to the language. It becomes lush, dense, just teeming with life. And this is what's so fascinating, right? As we're about to find out, this poem is actually set in the autumn, a season we usually connect with things fading away. But the poet, he focuses entirely on things that are flourishing and thriving. This isn't a scene about decline, it's about incredible, enduring life. And that's a huge clue to his own mindset.
秋风萧瑟，洪波涌起。
And right here, you can feel the entire mood of the poem shift. The sound 萧瑟, that's the lonely, rustling sound of the autumn wind. It's a somber sound, and it's immediately followed by the raw power of 洪波涌起, these massive waves surging up. This is a real turning point in the poem. That calm, wide-angle observation is gone. And in its place is this feeling of pure awe. The poet isn't just seeing nature anymore, he's feeling its raw, untamable power. The scene has suddenly become dramatic and full of this incredible energy.
日日之行若出其中，星汉灿烂若出其里。
And with these next two lines, wow, we've hit the absolute climax of the poem. You can see that perfect parallel structure, right? But more than that, this is the moment the poet's gaze lifts from the ocean all the way up to the cosmos. He's leaving simple observation behind and taking a leap into this truly epic, mythic vision. I mean, just think about that. He's looking at the ocean and seeing the very birthplace of the sun, the moon, the entire Milky Way. The sea isn't just a body of water anymore. It's become the womb of the universe. It's this staggering metaphor for boundless potential, for infinite possibility. So, we've walked through this incredible landscape. But, you know, this poem isn't just about the sea. It's about the mind that is observing the sea. So, let's take a closer look at the person who actually wrote these lines. And that's the real question here, isn't it? What kind of person stands on a mountain and sees not just waves, but the birth of stars in the ocean? Well, the answer completely changes how we understand this poem. Well, it turns out the poet was Cao Cao, one of the most powerful and brilliant warlords of his time. And he wrote this poem in the year 207, right after a massive military victory that secured his control over all of northern China. So the guy looking at the sea isn't just some thoughtful wanderer. He's a victorious general at the absolute height of his power, and his mind is full of plans to unify the entire country. This poem is actually the perfect example of a whole style of poetry from that time, known as the Jian'an spirit. It's a style that was born out of an age of chaos and war, and it's known for this heroic, sometimes somber, but always powerful tone. It really captures the spirit of these larger-than-life figures who are trying to build a new world out of the ruins of the old one.
So when you have that context, everything just clicks into place, doesn't it? The vast sea, that's his vast ambition. Those thriving plants, that's his vision for a revitalized China. And the sea giving birth to the sun, the moon, and the stars? Well, that's the mind of a leader who truly believes he has the power to forge an entire new world. And that brings us all the way back to this line, this final incredible image. This poem really teaches us something. Sometimes, if you want to understand the true scale of a person's ambition, you don't look at their battle plans. You look at what they see when they stand before the ocean. What universe do they imagine rising from its depths?